Welcome back to GemStone Podcast. It's LP, one of the hosts on GemStone Podcast, and I have Shy and Zack with me today. But before we get started, make sure you go like, share, and subscribe to GemStone Podcast. You can find us on various platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora Podcasts, Spotify Anchor, and also YouTube. If you would like to be a guest or just send us fan mail, you can always email us at gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. That is gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. Now, Zach, I know you got something. I don't want to waste no time. Let's get into it.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Y'all having a great day, a great night, wherever y'all is this time frame. One of the topics I want to get into today was going to be a little one we talked about at the barbershop just recently, man, because, we was having some wild conversations, and I don't know how this one came up. I think it came up, we was talking about Trump, actually. But this one came up of, how do you feel like the change of segregation has affected the world of America, the community of Black minorities, Hispanics, Asians, all that? How do you feel like segregation, the Jim Crow effect, has affected us now? Do you think Martin and them would have said, no, we didn't want this? Like, what do you think would it be differently? Do you think if we were still segregated, we'll be better off if we segregated? You think we'll be worse off? Like, how did it affect you, you think? Because people really don't think about it sometimes. They always try to make it seem like segregation and Jim Crow was so far away, but it was only 1954. Some of y'all's grandparents was born in 1954. Some of your parents were born in 1954. I know my dad and my mom was born in segregation. They still had to do that stuff. I'm from Mineral Wells, where we still have the old Dunbar, which is the black school that all the blacks used to go to, right next to my grandma's house. Like, so I've seen the history of our people and our school separated and stuff. How do you think, y'all? I'm asking y'all now, Jim Jones. How do you think this has changed our community? How do you think it's changed your life?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't think Martin would have wanted that because, of course, Martin was all for us to be treated equally. Do I think it would be a difference if we stay segregated? Yeah, I think we probably would have, been able to achieve more within our own communities. Yes, but honestly, I think desegregation was good. I just wish that they would have left us the heck alone. Once we were desegregated and once we were living in our own communities, developing our own banks, businesses, and so forth, leave us alone. Let us and our people create generational wealth for our families so that we can, I wish that would have happened, so where we can create something for our family because that's really what's missing. Like a lot of us are just not creating generational wealth the last 20, 30 years, you know what I'm saying? So, or the last 5 years. So I think that's the biggest thing. But I agree with desegregation. And I don't think Martin would have wanted that. Martin was all for us to be treated equally. So
That's a deep question, though, Zach. I think when you think about Martin, Malcolm, and other Black leaders, I think they all had different idealisms of what was going to be good for Black people in that particular time frame. I think for sure that Martin will be like, yes, to desegregation, because I think for him, everything was mostly about being treated equally. Now, when it comes to Malcolm, I don't really think that he would be, I don't know. And I'm speaking, this is just my opinion. Let me preference that. This is my opinion. This is my perspective. I don't think that he would be pro desegregation. I think, not to say he will still want where it has signs that says colors only or whites only or things like that, but I think he would want the Black community to focus specifically on the Black community and not be so focused on American culture. I think his idealism was more of Black people focusing on their own community and own development and own progression, and not to try to assimilate themselves for the approval of a white America. Do I feel like it hurt us being desegregation? I wouldn't say it hurt anybody, because I'm all for everybody having equal rights. I don't think it hurt everybody, but I do believe that although they gave us desegregation, there were still undertoned or underlying barriers created to still have segregation, if you get what I'm saying. On a document, it says we're desegregated, but the actions surrounding access and equality, it still provides some type of segregation, if that makes sense. And I think that's what kind of hurts the Black community, because we look for that approval and we seek that approval instead of trying to create it. And I'm guilty of this too. And like I said, I'm speaking very transparently, and this is my perspective. And I'm guilty of that too, because I at times seek the approval of white America instead of not really giving any type of care or validation that they can provide me. I should care more about what my community says about me than what another community says. So that's my 2 cents on it.
I feel like it changes all the way. How I say this, I gotta make sure I say it right ways. Because when we were segregated, we thrived. I know people are like, how you thrive in that type of time frame? We did thrive as Black people. We had a community. We had people that looked out for each other. We had whole cities, communities that got so big that they got too big, and they needed to be reminded of who you is and where you stand at. And that's what I hate. Because when we got desegregated, we lost that. We lost that being with each other. And then we got to this crab in the barrel fighting to get up.
Ooh, let them cook.
Yes, it did affect us in the way that I think they wouldn't want that. I think, in my opinion, I don't think Martin and them would ever want us to be where we are today, of us not being united. You know, say united we stand and separate we fall. And I feel like we is completely separate. And I think that separateness did not come from our people. It came from a lot of, actually I take that back. That separateness came from 50-50. It came from our people, and it came from being strategically put against us. We know about the crack pandemic. If you don't know about the crack pandemic, you need to look into it. That is a strategic warfare in what they did to eliminate people they feel like they need to eliminate. And that strategic warfare, the crack pandemic, is where we got to the idea of fast money. And that fast money killed the community because people thought about the money and protecting their family and taking care of their families. Now, my sister Sha said some shit one time in one of our podcasts you ain't heard from me. Go back and listen to it, where she talked about how why the single mother black hole became so popular and so prominent is because the man couldn't be in the house to get help from the welfare.
And they use the TV. They use shows like Good Times and what's the other show? Clarine, Good Times, and the other show where she was a single black mom and she had a career. She ain't need no man. They use those two images on TV to alter our brains and
Mm.
other shows as well. It wasn't
And
until Bill Cosby show, probably 15 years later, that showed a black nucleus family again. But let Zach cook. I'm going on mute.
Yeah, Zack is cooking. I'm gonna let Zack cooking. Let him cook.
so I say it was strategically put against us to be in this situation that we is in right now. And I think if we stay segregated, they couldn't do that to us because we was together. We was together strong. I think that goes for not just our communities, black men and black women, but it goes for our Hispanic community. It goes for our Asian community because we was all together. It is hard to break people up when they together already. They already got that same mindset. They already got that same goal or what they're trying to achieve. And when you desegregated us, you split us up. Now we in these white neighborhoods where they don't want us. We in these areas where we not wanted, but we feel like we safer because we somewhere we supposed to be at, where it's higher class. When really the higher class is where you was at when you was building up at. That's why they go take over those areas now, ain't it? That's why every church you see there, every school you see there.
Come gentrify.
What they say it called?
Come gentrify. Every time we got a nice neighborhood that we didn't build up, they come gentrify. Every single we're currently watching Fifth Ward be gentrified.
And you see second ward be gentrified, which is predominantly Hispanic.
Yep. They already took down Cedar Chavez walkway or whatever it was where I remember it was over there. They took that down already.
So don't get me wrong. Desegregation was great. It allowed us to be in different airspaces and be in different rooms that we previously wasn't allowed to be in and that we needed to be in. You understand what I'm saying? We needed to be in those rooms. We wasn't allowed to be in the rooms, but now we had the opportunity to be in those rooms. That is what's great about desegregation. But I don't think they would have liked it because it took us out from where we is or where we were supposed to be at, and that's together building our communities. And if you think I'm lying saying something different, go look at lakes you go to all the time and see how many bodies underneath them lakes. You think I'm lying, go to Tulsa and see where that mud got burned by his own people. If you think I'm lying, just look up things for history. You'll see how I'm American, but y'all don't treat me like I'm American. Kind of like the Super Bowl almost, huh? Or that might be too much. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Boy, hey, you know, opened up a can of worms today, boy. But Zach, what you saying is so spot on. It's so spot on. You said about division. As a as a group and as a demographic of people, we are so divided. We do it to ourselves, and it's sad. It's sad we do it to ourselves. I
It's
can't
not
tell.
all ourselves though, bro. That's what I was saying. It's 50-50. We have to take accountability for some of the things we do, absolutely. But everything that happens ain't always on us all the time.
No, it
No,
definitely started with them. It started with them.
definitely,
We've
yeah.
just adapted to their way of life. You know, their Western world of life. We just adapted to it. It started with them. We were not like this. We
Question
were,
though,
you know,
because but when you saying that, shot made me think of this. Zach, this goes with in the framework of what we're discussing. Do you feel like that when it comes to black leaders, and I'm specifically talking about black African American leaders that come from where we come from, do you feel like that those black leaders start to assimilate themselves with white America, and then once they assimilate themselves, they begin to tear down our community instead of lifting it up?
you just said it, Lance. You just said that you found yourself wanting to assimilate to them. You just said that in the last statement.
Yeah, but I ain't no real black leader though.
Yeah, he
But I'm
is.
saying, like in your line of work, you are. So you literally just said that. You literally just said that you found yourself wanting more approval from the white counterparts. You literally just said it. So you answered your own question. It does
Well,
happen.
but first, hold on.
I ain't
You
gonna lie,
literally
she kind
answered
of
your
cooked
own
you right there,
Yeah,
my
question.
yeah,
boy.
she got because she trying to fillet
It
Yeah,
me.
ain't
you
she trying to
answered.
play, but you said it,
You
bro.
No, but what
it's
I was
not,
saying,
you know
bro.
what, when that happens, that's not, it doesn't happen because we want it to. It's really like it's white supremacy at the end of the day. White
Yes,
supremacy is the meat and potatoes in this country, and it affects us all. It affects every race, and we as black people, we're literally the foundation for all these other races, because 100 years ago they were here, indigenous people and so forth, but like we really, our blood and tears is the reason why they are able to, a lot of the reason why they have success today. So I mean, it's all dibs in white supremacy at the end of the day.
and I said that when I say that I assimilate sometimes, I look for validation. You're 100% correct. It's
Uh-huh.
because me being a black man who holds a lot of experience and a lot of educational credentials. At times, you're put in the position where you have to, I wouldn't say pick sides, but you have to prove yourself. So since you have to prove yourself, you have to do it in a highly educated, scholarly way, but that's you having to prove validation. Like, no, I should be here. Like, you don't have to question me in my decision making. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm selected for the position. I should be here. And so that is seeking approval. But for me, and like, I don't really consider myself like an esteemed black leader, but maybe that's one of my problems. Maybe I should consider myself one.
Absolutely, that's your problem right now, brother, because you have a platform which you're talking to people every day about. That's being a leader. To
Yeah,
listen to you with your words. You have a family that you lead right now. That's a
yeah,
leader. You are a leader. You have to look at yourself as a leader. If you don't look at yourself as that,
facts.
you ain't doing what you need to do for yourself, man. Your family is following you.
I sometimes get a lot of trouble because I'm always advocating for the underserved. I advocate a lot for the underserved. And this ties into what we're talking about, because when it talks about you talking about like we're divided, when I find myself advocating and find myself trying to put us in positions and create sustainable programs to advance us and adhere to adverse health outcomes surrounding us specifically, it'd be people who look just like me that throw darts in my back, I throw knives in my back. And
Mm.
now I'm having to play, as I like to say, the dick and pony show, because now I gotta assimilate because whoever the CEO is, whoever the VP is, they don't look like me. They never do. And so now I have to play the game where, oh well, no, well, truly this impacts this impacts this. We can get more money this way, we can get return of investment, blah
Well,
blah
they
blah.
don't look like you in that Pacific organization.
Yes.
You know,
And so that's why I'm saying we divided when it comes to that, because it be your own people. And I'll be like, come on, man, like you ain't gotta do that. And I don't know where it stems from. But me specifically, well, I do know where it stems from. I just feel like it's a long lasting spirit that's just hovering over our population that just we just gotta figure out how to get it up out of us. But it just so much jealousy, so much envy, so much, it's just so much
If
that's
if I may,
associated.
it comes from our motherland. It and it comes from everybody's motherlands because we all had different tribes, and all those tribes always fought sometimes. So it's stuff like that that's still in you, unfortunately, instead of the unity that should be in you. It gets, like you said, it can get long and deep about how it can be affecting, especially to us young African Black American people. But it's just people not wanting to one up everybody instead of, if I get up here, you coming with me.
My bad, y'all. But no, we need to all practice just being happy for one another. And that will end that. Once we practice being happy for one another, once you realize that everybody gets a turn, no matter what, everybody gets a turn, whether it's good or bad, then you will start to not want, like that will end some of that competition that we have amongst each other. Be happy for one another, and when it's your turn, or take you a turn. You know what I'm saying? Like however you see fit, but just be happy for one another. We don't gotta envy each other. We ain't got to fight for the top spot, American Next Top Model Boo. We don't gotta do that.
So
Support each other. That's how we build our communities from the get go, with support. We supported one another. That's how we built our communities. If you know your brother got the best barbecue stand, guess what? You better be eating his barbecue and nobody else. Well, you can support other people too, but I mean, you better be, or if you know your sister got a hotel, you need to be patron her business.
I got you too. Let me step in. If your sister got a tax business and she posts on Instagram, post that shit for a nigga.
Yeah. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. And thank you, Lance, for patroning my business. So yeah, I mean,
always.
it's like, come on now. If you got something that I'm not saying you gotta utilize all the time. Like even say for instance me, right? If I have a friend that bakes goodies, right? All right, sometimes I want to eat tip treats, but guess what? Sometimes I'm gonna get I'm gonna still make sure I support. Even if Tips treats is bad to me, guess what? I'm gonna get my Tips treats, but I'm gonna still patron your business. I'm gonna support you because you, as my friend, as my homie, I want to see you do well. So I'm gonna patron your business.
This
And
one
then
thing I
and if you doing good, if you doing good, you didn't. Everybody goals are different, right? Some people might have a goal to, oh, I want to be able to catch 10 fishes. I never could be a good fisher. That's my goal. Guess what? If your friend told you, friend, I hit my goal, I caught 10 fishes this morning. Oh, friend, that's amazing. It's about what be happy for people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person. This could be a whole segment in itself. One thing I've noticed, I'm happy for everybody. But people that they call themselves my friend, when it's my turn or when I'm happy, they're not as happy for me. That we got. Like, be happy for people. Like, it's not that deep. Like, I'm happy for other people. I go on about my business. Like, but some people just they have a hard time doing it. But yeah, y'all.
I would say this though. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. This watching and observing, I believe that even in our relationships, we have the aspect of jealousy sometimes where we're not generally happy for each other. And so if we even have it in our romantic spaces, that's a big problem. That's a big
Oh
problem. When
yeah.
it comes to us in our romantic spaces, I see it where we have men or women who are not genuinely happy of the success or of the growth of their partner.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
now
they or
that,
they might not
yeah, yeah. And now
they might
that's
not genuinely
that's
like
the
the partner
narrative
either.
that's the narrative of black relationships now. We're not happy for each other. We're jealous of each other. Now they going up on a TED talk trying to go on the mic and get some advice when I don't, like I keep saying, I think it's so ingrained, it's so deep within us as ethnicity that we have to figure out a way to overcome some of our biggest barriers. And I get it. Everybody want to be the golden pony. Everybody want to be the golden child. Everybody want to be the chosen one. But we all have a role. God has given each person on this earth a role and a purpose. If you follow it and you fulfill it, it'll all fall into play. We don't have to look at. I think social media is the worst thing that ever was invented. Well, I shouldn't say that because we on social media, but I think it has such a negative impact because people look at other people and want what they got. It'd be a man that look at another couple and be like, why my wife don't talk to me like that, or my woman don't talk to me like that, and there'd be a woman doing the same thing, But in reality,
damn self.
that's a facade. We don't know what's going on behind closed. You don't know if that one beating the hell out that man, hitting him upside the head, beating him with water bottles. You don't know what's going on, but you see him on Instagram posting a picture and they look happy. We don't know. He may be cheating on her with 1,000 different women and she stay at the clinic. We don't know what's going on.
Cheating on him with 1,000 different women.
Exactly. We don't know what's going on. But you see pictures, you see, and you get assimilated to that, and you think that's the life that I should be living. No, follow your path. Follow what God has for you. And then when you follow that, everything else will work out. But we have to stop that internal, even in your own household, hating on each other. Come on, bro. We ain't each other enemy. We shouldn't even move like that. But that is the common denominator in Black relationships as well.
Where it starts at,
it's a deep-rooted issue in our culture, man.
The one that starts at, you got to ask a question. If you are envious of your partner, you got to ask one simple question: do you actually like that person? There's levels to it. A person can love you and not like you. You need to figure out if you like that person first. A lot of people that's in relationships and marriages do not like each other. The person. So say, well, this person be my friend if we wasn't married. The answer probably be no. If you feel kind of way.
Well, y'all, we thank y'all for this episode, man. This has been another great one. It's been a deep conversation. So before we leave, make sure y'all subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on our various platforms such as Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Pandora Podcasts, and YouTube. If you would like to send us fan mail or just to ask us simple questions, you can always email us at gemstonespodcast@gmail.com. That's gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. It's been a pleasure. As always, we thank you guys for y'all support. And until next time.